This is the Pain Train Preston Quinn, one half of the Extreme Horsemen. And when I want to hear music and entertainment, I come right here. You're listening to On the Fly with Stevie and Warden.
You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? On the Fly is back again. It is Tuesday night, I think. My days are mixed up right now. Tuesday night, and with us again. This is 6 times. She is extending the lead. You know,
really?
Yeah, 6 times. You got past the 5 timers club. You're in the 5 timers club. So your competition was on a couple of weeks ago. He hit number 4. So when he finds out you've upped the lead again, he'll probably be like, okay, I need to get back on there again. But with us tonight is Noelle Toland again. How you doing, girl?
I'm good. I'm so great. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be back, Stevie. I appreciate you having me on.
It's always great to have Noelle with us. And I was telling my mom, because we watched, my mom's not up on the whole technology thing, like streaming on her TV and everything. So we were down there one night trying to tell her how to do, the Roku player and all that. I said, well, I'll let you see this. And I showed her one of the interviews with you, and she's like, wow, she's pretty. And I said, you ought to see it. I said, listen to her sing too. And she listened to you. She actually listened to you tonight, some of Walkaway Joe tonight. And she was like, oh, wow. She said, now, where is she at? And I said, she's in Nashville. She should be a star. And I said, I agree.
What's your mom's name?
Her name is Brenda.
Brenda?
Like Brenda Lee.
Yeah. Brenda Lee? Well, thank you, Miss Brenda.
Yeah, she is.
You raised a good son.
Oh, your check is in the mail. Don't worry, the check is in the mail. I told you Molly's back here to take in the interview, my little buddy over here, but a lot going on with you. You have just released your newest single, which was a cover, and I will say this. I think I'm partly responsible for you doing this song, because the last time you were on here, we did a top 10 Trisha Yearwood list, and both of us had Walkaway Joe at number 1. And when I heard that, I was like, bragging. I was like, yeah, I think she did it because we talked about it on the top 10 list. So,
yeah, you're right.
Oh my gosh.
You're right. You had a part in it, and it is one of the greatest songs of all time. And that was a fun interview we did. Counting down. That was hard. Counting down top 10.
It was hard. Very, very hard. It's one of the hardest ones I've had to do so far. I mean, Trisha Yearwood was one of them that when I got back into country music, of course, back in the 90s, I started with Garth, but then, I actually turned over and watched CMT, and then I see that was one of the first videos I watched was Walkaway Joe, and I had to go out. I went out and bought the CD. Did we talk about last time? Yeah, I think we did. Matthew McConaughey was in that video.
He's Walkaway Joe.
But yeah, exactly. Hey, wait a minute. What was the guy's name in Limbo that you were singing to?
Joe.
Is this the Walkaway Joe turns into Limbo Joe?
I know. I've got a lot of O songs. So I've got Limbo. I've got Walkaway Joe. I've got You're an Arrow. I have a song coming out called I'm Just a Wino. I mean, I'm like the O girl. So many O songs.
Let's talk about. We were talking a little bit before we started the interview. Your T-shirt. Yeah. Randy Travis. This is a vintage. This isn't one of those. She said this is not one of those that you just buy. She's had this for a while.
Yeah, I got it at a vintage store actually on Melrose in LA years ago. Wow. And I love Randy Travis. I mean, his song "Forever and Ever, Amen." That's one of my favorite songs of all time. And when I put this shirt on today, I was like, oh, I wish maybe I should cover that one too.
we'll get into that a little bit later. But Randy Travis, yeah, I mean, forever and ever, amen. 3 wooden crosses, and I told you so. I mean, oh gosh, I could talk about I told you so right now, but so before we get into talking about um, Walkaway Joe and how that come about,
Mm-hmm.
since the last time you've been on, and it seems like, and I am not complaining. It seems like you come on like every month. We have a monthly segment with Noelle, and we're going to have to turn it in. We're going to have to do that. One of the great icons of country music, especially of our era, passed away after a battle with cancer. Toby Keith,
Yeah.
and we just did. It hadn't come out yet, but we just did a. Actually, you could have watched it live, but I haven't put it on the podcast site yet, a top 10 Toby Keith list. And you talk about that was hard as well. But man, I mean, when you go through all of his songs, he's had hit after hit, hit his peak with How Do You Like Me Now? He was
Mm.
on fire then, and the red, courtesy of the red, white, and blue. But so many great songs. Um, First of all, were you a big Toby Keith fan?
Yeah, I've always loved him. And I love what he stood for, that even if you don't agree with him, at least you know where he stood. And
Exactly.
I think that's a really strong person to have a stance like that. And obviously I've always loved his songs. I mean, they're so fun. I should have been a cowboy. I mean,
Yeah, that's the one that started it all. He was
iconic.
Yeah, he took off after that one.
Yeah.
I actually, believe it or not, that did not make my list. I guess it's because
No.
but look, I mean, there was so many great ones up here.
Yeah.
I think I've got it. Where is it? Oh, you'll never guess what my number one was. You'll never guess in a million years. I guarantee you.
Solo Cup?
Huh?
Red Solo Cup?
No, that made the list.
Mm,
I'll put it this way. It's a slower.
I don't know.
You probably
I'm
this is the one that really, it wasn't as big a hit as some of the other ones on there, but I don't know if you remember the song he wrote for his friend Wayman Tisdale called "Crying for Me."
I don't think I remember that one.
You need to listen to that one. That's his. Wayman Tisdale was a basketball player at Oklahoma, and then he played in the NBA, and then he ended up being a musician. And I guess he palled around with Toby Keith, and he died young. I don't know if he had cancer too, but
Yeah.
he wrote that, and it just talks about it. You know, the chorus is like, "I'm not crying because I feel so sorry for you. I'm crying for me." It's like,
Mm,
talk about being selfish. Um,
yeah.
but "Wish I Didn't Know Now," that was number two. That's, oh wow, that was such a great
Such a
song.
good song.
So Toby Keith, yeah, hate to see it. I mean, you hate to see any of them, but like you said, anybody that you he doesn't care. He didn't care if you agreed with him. He just, you
Mhm.
knew where he stood. I mean, the whole big feud with the chicks back in the day, or what they did, and I mean, you know, both sides. You have a right to an opinion, and they definitely disagreed. I don't agree uh, with what they said, but I also don't agree with people out there making death threats against them for them sharing their opinion. That's carrying a little too far.
Yeah. Well,
And that almost ruined their.
that's what this country is all about, is having difference of opinion, but being able to respect one another. And that's what democracy is. I mean, you can't
Exactly.
you can't have, that's the thing. People, I don't want to really get into politics.
I don't either. I don't either. I'm like you. I don't really want to get into it, because if I get into it, it's gonna be hard to reel me back in, girl.
Yeah, I just want everyone to get along, but I respect artists like
Oh yeah,
and people that do stand up for what they believe in and take ownership of that. And Toby Keith was such an amazing artist and with such a strong point of view and a great person. I never had the chance to meet him, but the stories I've heard about him are just all amazing and just wonderful, and that he was a very kind man. And I just hope he rests in peace. And he gave a lot of gifts to the country music community in terms of his artistry, and he'll be missed.
It's a shame. I did not realize till after that he was one of them that pretty much got Taylor Swift discovered. I mean,
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she kind of owes a little bit to him too. So
Yeah.
I'm not a Swiftie, but she's okay. But I'm not the big Swiftie like some of the other ones around here are. So moving on, another topic that is kind of American Idol and The Voice. These things have been around for a while. These shows have been around for a while, and they produce some superstars from Carrie Underwood, Chris Daughtry. Gosh knows who else. There's been a bunch of Clay Aiken, Scotty McCreery, and you've seen your share of like people that are kind of well known. As a matter of fact, before we get into one of them, I want to talk about there was the college football team I pulled for is in Greenville, North Carolina, East Carolina University. One of their former players, and their dad was a pro football player. His name is Blake Prohl. If you guys are watching American Idol, he made it to the next round. So give Blake Prohl some love. He's definitely worth it. But you know what? I forgot her name already. Emma, what was it? Did you forget it too?
Oh, Emmy Russell. It's Loretta.
Emmy Russell. Yeah. Loretta Lynn's granddaughter shows up on American Idol, and she kills it. I mean, what? First of all, let's ask you: has Noelle Toland ever had an audition on The Voice or American Idol?
I auditioned for The Voice in person in LA. It was. I didn't make it.
Obviously, I wasn't up there. You didn't see me up there, did you?
No. I was grateful for the opportunity, but yeah, you're in a big auditorium. I think they do it now, or it's virtual.
Right.
But you're just in a big auditorium, and you're kind of filed along, and then you go into a room with like 3 or 4 other people, and then you sing a few seconds, and then they say, okay, sorry, you're not moving forward. So it's, I've had my share of rejection countless times. And I don't think any artist likes open calls, because you kind of wait around and, just hope for the best or whatever. But right. I love these shows. I think they provide exposure to people that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity. So I think they're great. I didn't go very far. So
I'm sorry. I should have brought that up.
I love the show. I love a show, and I love American Idol, and I grew up watching American Idol, and
yeah,
that was so fun. But yeah, I think they're just great platforms that give opportunities to people that otherwise wouldn't have a shot. So I think they're great.
Yeah, a lot of the old guard do not like these shows because they don't feel like these people pay their dues like they did. And but I'm like you got to adapt to the times. I mean, that's just like I mean, Justin Bieber discovered on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's one of the biggest selling artists out there. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of it. I've heard it from my daughter. I heard that baby song 100,000 times.
It's so catchy.
Oh, geez. Yes, I heard that. I don't know how many times. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it, like you said, it gives these guys that probably wouldn't have it. I mean, in this day and time, you don't have record companies like you did back in the day either. Mm-hmm. So, giving these people a platform that probably wouldn't get it any other way. And I mean, who knows? Look, I mean, Carrie Underwood comes from American Idol, one of the biggest country stars. Chris Daughtry, who has, I mean, he's had his day. I mean, he's been a big star, and of course, Mallory has said, "Hey, Noelle." He's in the other room right now listening. So,
Oh, I love it.
but yeah, somebody like that, I, that just proves that it works. And then you have somebody. I remember when Chris. Okay, I don't know if I've said it on here before, but Chris Daughtry was like one of our neighbors. He lived right down the road from me.
I remember you
So
saying
we
that.
were all trying to get him through, and the only time my mom would stay up past 9 o'clock was to vote. She would stay up voting on the phone till like 12 o'clock till it would stop, and
Oh,
then he got eliminated. Oh, you talking about somebody that was mad, mad, mad. So, and I think some people with the whole voting deal have taken what they thought was not the best person, most talented person that was out there, and pushed them forward just as a joke. And I think that got a little out of hand.
I don't know.
A couple of years. Yeah, well, I mean, I forgot the kid's name, but there was one, and you could find it online where these people were getting together and saying, "All right, we got to vote for him this week, no matter what, no matter how good he does," because he was not there. He was the least talented out of the whole crew that was left, and they kept voting him through, and nobody could figure out why. Then they found out why. I think they had to revamp the voting system after that, though.
Oh,
They could take
fair.
advantage of that. All right, so now let's get on to the main event, Mr. Joe, not Limbo Joe. We'll talk about Walkaway Joe. So first of all, Walkaway Joe comes out, and you wake up one morning and you get some news, some really good news. And I was watching the TikTok, and I was like, okay, that's pretty awesome. There. So tell us about that news you found out when you woke up that morning.
Yeah, I woke up the morning that it streamed, that it released, and I was double checking all the links for my social posts and everything. And I clicked a link to the Apple Music link, and I saw the release. I saw the artwork, and then I scrolled down a little bit, and it said featured on. And my head kind of tilted, and I saw just the cover art of the playlist for New Country. And I said, wait. And I remember just looking at it, and like the whole world stopped. And I said, am I on a playlist? And I clicked the link. I clicked the cover art, and I scrolled a little bit, and I saw my name there, and I just screamed. I was like, ah! And like I thought my dog and I were like, my dog's looking at me. She's like, why are you screaming? So she starts screaming. So because my dog likes to sing and talk too. I don't know if you've seen any of my TikToks with her, but she loves singing, and she's a talker. Surprised she's not joining us right now. But
I'm surprised she's never joined us in here before.
She's snoring right now on the couch. But
Snoring on the floor right now too.
yeah, I love dogs. My dog is my whole world. I'm just obsessed.
Nothing better than dog. There's a reason why they call him man's best friend.
Oh yeah, she's the best.
So yeah, I would say this. I was proud of that too, because I was like, this girl's been on here like 5 times. So I feel like I'm like, so I said repost, and I mean that was I felt so happy for you, because I know how talented you are, and a lot of people do. But that right there, when to see the look on your face when you were doing the little talking about it, I was like, she is one happy girl right now, and I was happy for you. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's my first ever editorial playlist, so I'm very grateful, and thank you, Apple Music.
Yes, and I got this podcast. I've always said that if it makes it like big time, that's great. But getting to talk to different people like this is what it's all about. But then it was funny, like the day, I think it comes on Saturdays. So I get this thing in the mail from this thing called Chartable, and it like charts your podcast. And we were like number 57 in Nepal. I was like, wow, somebody in Nepal is listening to me in Little North Carolina.
I love that. That's amazing. Congrats.
I couldn't believe somebody in Nepal was listening. And I've been on, it's been like 3 weeks in a row. So evidently they don't listen to many podcasts over there or something. But we're on there. We're on their top. We haven't cracked the top 50 yet. So hopefully we'll do that. Maybe after this show, we'll crack the top 50.
You should shout out to Nepal and say, hey, reach out to me. I'd love to connect.
Yeah.
Whoever's ever listening in Nepal.
I can't imagine who is listening to this in Nepal, though.
You never know.
You never know. You're right. So let's talk about, the last time we talked about You Are an Arrow, and that was such a great song. I start hearing little inklings from Nicole. She's going to do a cover song, and I'm like, a cover song? What would she be doing? A 90s country cover song. And I was like, never entered my mind. I was like, oh, yeah. And then I hear Walkaway, Joe's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear this. Because like we talked about, this is one of my favorite all-time country songs, my favorite all-time Trisha song. And I know the answer to this already, but what made you pick Walkaway Joe as this cover song?
It's a very special song to me. I grew up listening to country radio, and a lot of that time was spent with my mom and me in the back seat with her driving. And whenever the song would come on, it was just, the mood would shift. And I learned a lot about song, even though my mom's not musical, she's not a songwriter or doesn't play any instruments, but she has very good taste and would teach me things about music and say, this is who you need to listen to, or listen, this is a great song. And this song in particular, she would make me sing around the house for her when I was a little kid. And I would have I have a straw right here, but I would have like a hairbrush or remote control. And that was my dog, Maxwell, and my mom, that was my audience. And I would just sing Walkaway Joe. That was her favorite song for me to sing. And so it's kind of like our song, because it's about a girl and a mom and young love, getting your heart broken. And so that song's always been very special to me. And I actually recorded, it was the first song I ever professionally recorded. It was actually a gift from my mom. When I was in LA, as a gift from my mom for Mother's Day, my friend Eric helped me record this just as a vocal piano. So it was kind of like a demo, but I wanted to gift my mom something where she could listen to me singing whenever she wanted to. And we recorded it in his home studio, and I had a professional MP3 file and bought an iPod Nano and put it on the iPod Nano, and I mailed it to her. So she had always to listen to, but I also put it on SoundCloud, and that got the attention of a producer in LA who I started working with. But it was that song that kind of actually, I'm here today in Nashville releasing it. That was the song that as a gift from my mom, for the first time ever, recorded something professional. If it weren't for that song, I wouldn't, not that I'm,
Yeah, but you wouldn't be doing what you're doing now.
Yeah. So this song is incredibly important to me, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that song. And that was the first professional kind of thing I'd done, and now it's more polished. And I got to work with Sean Paddock, who produced this. He's an amazing drummer. He was Kenny Chesney's drummer for years.
I remember that guy. He was very, very active in all the videos. I think if that's the same one I'm thinking of.
Sean? I don't know. Yeah.
But he's in the videos?
I'm not sure. He might be.
Except like one of Don't Happen Twice. There's a lot of concert scenes in there, and he's pretty active in there.
Oh, cool. I'll have to go watch.
Yeah, I don't know if it's him or not, but I remember the drummer stood out a lot for me in the videos.
And which one? I'll have to go watch it. Which one is
Don't
it?
Happen Twice is one of them.
Don't Happen Twice. Okay.
Yeah.
He was just so much fun to work with. And we did 3 covers together, 3 90s country covers together. And he just did an amazing job. And I'm so grateful for him and to be able to record these songs. And he really brought them to life. And it's interesting. The way this song, because he's a drummer, producer and a drummer, but it's interesting. I don't know if you picked up on this, but there is a rhythm difference in this song versus original, and that's owed 100% to him. He had a different.
It's a little bit faster. It's not fast, but it's a little bit faster rhythm in it. I could tell that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all to his credit, and he's just so amazing and really made it different. And yeah, it was a dream come true, and I'm very grateful to have worked with him on this.
Now, I don't know, and I'm getting a little off subject here, but before I put this comment up here, I don't know, were you a big fan of like Saved by the Bell back in the day? Or was that before your time?
I remember watching it. Yeah.
There was another show on there. It was kind of like that, but it was more like a music group called California Dreams. I don't know if you remember that. Mm-mm. They did the theme song, Don't Wake Me Up if I'm dreaming. Well, this guy, Brentley Gore, is a musician. He played one of the main parts on California Dreams. Past guest of the show, so he's making a little comment here, making himself known. And Brentley's got some new stuff coming out too. Brentley, we got to have you back on again to talk about your new stuff. But yeah, Brentley has been on before. But if you ever get a chance to check that out, California Dreams,
I will look that up.
Yeah, he was the brother, the main brother in the first 3 seasons, I think. But anyway, so Walkaway Joe, you talk about how special that is to you, and I can understand that from the mom connection. Talk a little bit about Trisha. I know we talked about Trisha last time, but Trisha I think you said one of your all-time favorite country artists.
Oh, 100%. I adore her. I'm such a huge fan. She just sings like no one else. She's got this way of telling a story with her voice, and it's unparalleled. And I've always been a fan of hers and love her so much. And just, gosh, it would be my dreams to meet her one day. I love her so much.
Hey, maybe Trisha's out there and listening to Walkaway Joe, and who knows? Maybe there's a duet. Maybe there could be a duet coming. Can you imagine that? Being able to do it with Trisha Yearwood?
That would be like, I don't even know. I don't even want to think about it.
Do you think you would? How long do you think you would have the nerves would be, and before you got over your nerves?
I'd be just falling over. I love her so much, just because, you know, she's such a strong woman too, and she has such a giving heart. Like, she does a lot of charity work with animals, and I love her cooking show, and she's just a true artist, and I love her, and I'm just so grateful that she has put out so many amazing albums that we get to listen to.
That's right.
Mean, yeah, I love her.
It makes it hard on us to do a top 10 list.
Oh, so hard.
Yeah, so we're talking about that, and like I said, guys, I feel like I'm a little bit responsible for you guys getting to hear Walkaway Joe from Noelle, because that top 10 list was tough, but I was pleasantly surprised that both of us had Walkaway Joe at number 1. Now, before I get any further, I've got to ask you this, because I think I told you when we talked about Walkaway Joe last time, one of the things that made that song so good, not just the story, not just Trisha, but Don Henley's harmonies. And when I listened to your version, the did not stray from that. The harmonies are there.
Yeah.
Who did the harmonies? Was that you? Another
Rod Kent, through Sean. Sean orchestrated that. Yeah, he did an amazing job.
yes.
Yeah, it was Rod Kent. I didn't get to meet him. I haven't met him yet, but he did a killer job.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always listen to for in a song is if I hear really good harmonies, I'm like, you've got me hooked. A harmony will hook me. And you talked a little bit. How long did the recording take you? I mean, was it like a day, a couple of days?
The vocals we did in one day. And then everything else was, I think, overdubbed. So it was kind of happening at different places.
Right.
We didn't go in the studio and record everything all at once.
Right. So, I did listen, and like, I heard a while ago, just a few minutes ago, I said a while ago, like a big old Southern boy. I heard you say 3 country cover songs you've recorded. So so we get 2 more, right? We get to hear 2 more.
2 more.
Okay.
I'm excited. I love 90s country. It was just the best era.
So we're not any time frame on when we get the next one?
A good question. Yeah. I was trying to figure that out today. I think.
Well, you got to let this one go for a while.
Yeah, I think the next one will release maybe in about a month or so, and then the next one around July. But I also have new original music that I'll be releasing too that I've got coming out.
You might have enough kind of cover songs for another album.
I would love to do an album of all.
Yeah, well, if you got new music and 3 cover songs, what an album was like 9 or 10 songs.
Yeah, but this.
I know it's easier these days to put them out a single instead of putting out a whole album.
Well, and not just that, but I believe an album needs to have a cohesive story and theme behind it. And the new music I have coming out is some of it was done at the same time, and then some just at a different point. So there's not really a cohesive vibe.
Like a constant theme to it.
You know what, Stevie? Let's manifest me doing an album. Let's manifest a huge record deal where I get to make lots of albums.
I am all for it because you put it out on vinyl and get some outlandish color scheme for the vinyl and you'll sell 1 million of them with that. Yeah. I mean, that's all you got to do. Like I said, I'm a big Kiss fan, and one of their former guitar players put an album out. He had 25 different variants of vinyl, like different color schemes for the vinyl. Like one of them was bubble gum, one of them was so and so. I'm like, oh my gosh! I mean, I just want one set instead of you put 25 different color schemes out for your vinyl. It used to be so simple, which I like that they're doing stuff like that with vinyl, but sometimes you can overdo it. I don't know. So that was my next question. Any new music on the way? So we talked about covers.
Yeah, lots of new music.
See, that's how she's giving me. Lots of new music. That's all she's gonna say. Lots of new music. No.
Well, some of the new stuff I played and put out a few videos of me performing the new stuff. So there's some.
You don't have to say any names. Don't say any names. I want to be surprised. I'm patient. I want to be surprised. But I guarantee whatever you put out there is going to be good. I mean, I haven't heard a bad song from you yet. That's for sure. Can you believe this all started with? How long ago did Limbo come out?
About a year ago.
So it's been about a year since you started coming on the show. Because Limbo, I remember when I was so nervous because I think Justin Kayla was the first interview I did. You were the second one I did with anybody from Brickshore Media. And I was so nervous about it. I bet I listened to Limbo about 50 times at work one day while I just had it looping over and over again. And I just kept hearing. I kept hearing about Joe. Hey, Joe. Oh,
Yeah.
but
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
any music videos maybe coming?
Yeah, so we're doing, well, we already shot them, studio videos for each of the cover songs. So there'll be a video for Walkaway Joe coming out very soon. And
So it'll
then,
be you in the studio though.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
And yeah, more music videos too. I kind of, I've got my head spinning on more content ideas of how I can creatively tell a story with my music and video / film at the same time. So my wheels are turning, they're spinning fast.
I've had conversations in the last couple of months with people about, uh, especially back in the '80s when MTV was at an all time high. They
Mhm.
really were hot. That if you make a good song, it can turn into a really great song with a good music video. And because especially if you're trying to tell a story,
Yeah.
that and the video tells a story. There's been some. I need to do an episode where uh, good songs have videos that make no sense for that song because there's a couple of them I can think off the top of my head, but I don't want to down anybody right now. But a good music video will make me want to go out and buy the back in the day, buy the cassette or the CD back in the day. I know why people don't do it anymore because I guess the record companies aren't there to fund the budget and everything like that, and MTV won't show it anymore, which I think is a big mistake. MTV, I don't even know what M stands for anymore, but I've said it over and over again until I'm blue in the face. I wish MTV was like it was back in the day with the videos. It
Yeah.
would. I think it. Ugh. All right. So new music. You talked about your new music. Anything you want to plug real quick? I know of course, Walkaway Joe. You can find that anywhere you're streaming, guys. Spotify, Apple Music, uh, wherever you listen to your music at. Look for Walkaway Joe by Noelle Toland, and I promise you will not be disappointed. But anything else you got going on?
Yeah, I've got a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
I've got country radio seminar coming up this week. I'm playing. Oh, I'm making my Bluebird debut, Bluebird Cafe debut on the 17th in Nashville.
Okay.
I'm super excited about, and I've got a lot of shows coming up. I would just ask everyone to follow me on social media, whether that's TikTok, I'm at Noelle Toland Music, or Instagram, Facebook, X, all the other things at Noelle Toland. And then by following me, you can keep up with all of my updates and all the news and all the fun things. But I'm very excited. Got a lot in the kitchen cooking up, and yeah, please go listen to Walkaway Joe. Stream it wherever you stream, and keep an eye out for the studio video coming out soon.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the next two songs. So
Yeah.
guys, keep your ears open. We'll definitely be sharing whatever she comes out with right here at On the Fly. You'll be hearing about it. But yeah, go out all her social media. We'll get all the links up here in the episode description so you guys can click right on it. And girl, all I can say is we're I know this sounds corny, but we are so proud of you here. And we wish you nothing but the best. And I know because I know it every time you're on the show, things are just getting better and better. But maybe you'll boost me up in the top 50 in the poll after this.
Yeah.
Let's go
How
to the
about
poll.
top 50 in the world too?
Yeah, we'll see about that. But girl, thank you so much for coming on. And sixth time, seventh time. We're already talking about a top 10 show we're going to work on when she's not so busy. That's Trisha's better half, or other half, I'll put it that way, not better half, Mr. Brooks. But till next time, good luck to you, and we'll definitely be keeping people abreast of what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Stevie, for having me. This has been a blast, as always, and I can't wait to see you again soon.
No power outages tonight either. All right, guys, that is Miss Noelle Toland on the Fly.